copies of the history, but if any of you guys want your own copy, I can email it to you.
Gotcha, okay.
Or any leftover copies at the end of class, feel free to take. But for now, we're just gonna, each kid will get one.
Oh my god, it's a tiny box. Sorry.
Okay, so. Short introduction, I'm Solana. Most of you already know that.
Hi, Solana.
Hi. So in the mundane world, I'm a florist. I've been a florist for 6 years. I love my job. It is an essential part of me as a person at this point. So what better way than to combine that with a hobby I really enjoy? Flower arrangements in period. So the kind that we're talking about specifically today is Chabana. I forget to breathe sometimes. Anyways. I do. No, I'm good. Anyways, it's at your discretion. So Chabana is Japanese floral arrangement specifically for Chado, and Chado is a Japanese tea ceremony. So with a lot of Japanese floral arrangement in general, less is more. It's very different from Western, where you're trying to get a massive bouquet with all of these elements. We're looking for simple. They wanted it to be like you're representing the seasons when you design, which is why I picked mums for our designs today, because they're heavily associated with fall. Woohoo, we're in fall now.
Mom's the word.
Anyways, I'm gonna refer to the handout some. So the tea room flowers originated alongside wabi cha, and that's a simple ceremony that was started by a guy named Sen no Ryuku, and he was kind of one of the bigger influences in tea ceremonies in general. So Chabana is a branch of Ikebana, which is kind of a more broad term for Japanese floral arrangement. However, in period it wouldn't have been called Ikebana, it would have been called Tatabana, which I like to refer to as Daddy Ikebana.
I'm sorry, what?
Exactly.
State of mind.
So, there are 3 types of vases that you can use for tea ceremony arrangements. The first type is shin, which would be used for more formal ceremonies. This would be copper or like the very beautiful porcelain vases that you've seen, or some people have seen. The second is yo, which is semi-formal. This would include containers of like unglazed ceramics, so what we're using today, and like any kind of clay vase. So then the informal would be so, and that would include like bamboo, gourds, wicker baskets, stuff like that. And then if you do refer to the handout and you want some more specific examples, I do have diagrams of all of those examples. One of the things with Chabana is it would have been placed on a board, just a board of wood, and each board goes with how formal or informal the event is. So if you refer to page 3, you can see that, and you can see which board would have been used for how formal or informal the ceremony was. Or
Is the only formal between shin and go? Is the only difference a size difference?
The difference is the bevels. It either has a bevel or it doesn't.
Oh, the
It's a
side
very
bevel.
subtle
Okay, the cross section. Thank you.
It's so in yo.
Yes.
So in yo.
Yes.
It's so young.
So the whole idea with Chabana is you're trying to represent nature around you. So if you were to make this in period at your home, it's very traditional to use what you had available to you. So although some of the stuff we're using today might not be used in Japanese floral arrangement, it follows the rules because it's something that is available to me. They would also occasionally use grasses as like a filler flower. I think baby's breath and a dozen roses. And that's what we're gonna be using the fuzzy bits today. Fuzzy bits. So there's two elements outside of the filler flower to Chabana arrangement. We have the major flower and the minor flower. The major in this case would be the chrysanthemum, and the minor would be our birch branches.
What's considered a flower?
Branches, blossoms, grasses, it all kind of encapsulates.
Got it.
Sorry. Well, in the shop we just say flower.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know what I mean.
Mhm.
Slang. And the minor flower, which would be the branch, is referred to as nejime. And this would be placed close to the mouth of the vase, but if you look at a lot of Chabana floral arrangement, they generally kept it pretty tall. So unlike Western design where you're trying to make a nice rounded shape, here you're trying to go for a very asymmetrical, natural shape. And that was part of the reason you get such intentionally lopsided arrangements, for lack of a better description, because we were trying to make it, it's natural, it's pretty. We're not looking for very Western arrangements.
Unique.
Yes. And like I said, they did this through the seasons. So if they were, like in Japan, it was very seasonal. If a plant grew all season, they generally wouldn't use it for Chabana. This is a lot harder now because we live in the modern world where we can get plants and branches whenever we want.
Right.
But if you were in Japan at this time, you would have used what's available and you would have avoided strong smelling plants, whether it was good or bad, because they didn't want to distract from the tea ceremony that much. Or you wouldn't have used something that grows year round because it's not unique to that season. So in a traditional Japanese home, there's an alcove called a tokonama. And that's where the arrangement would have been placed. In essentially like a little hole in the wall, little alcove. Yeah, so it wouldn't have been right next to the tea, it would have been off to the side as like a subtle detail to the ceremony. And now that we've gone over a little bit of history, you're more than welcome to read this and get a little more details. Like I said, if you want a copy, I'm more than happy to email you one. Or if there's copies left over, please take them. I have access to plenty. So, oh yeah, I should get the flowers, wouldn't that be a good idea? So now we're gonna go over some basic floral design techniques as I talk about this. If there is any foliage in the vase, it will rot and it will smell bad and your flower will die earlier. So it's okay to leave leaves out if you're not gonna put them in the vase, but any leaves that'll fall in the vase, take off. And try to keep it in a nice pile on the table so I can throw it away later.
So you took off all your leaves.
I did.
Would you suggest that?
Mine is more done out of habit from being a florist for 6 years.
Okay.
We take all of our leaves off, but traditionally I just don't put leaves in water because it'll rot.
How does that apply to like the little nubbins?
You can leave the nubbins.
Okay.
Those
Like
don't.
these little ones?
Yeah, little nubs where other blooms would have been growing, you could leave those. The thinner plant material tends to rot faster, which is why I would recommend taking the leaves off. But it's also your arrangement. It's dangerously if you want, but I will give advice.
You can lead a horse to water.
But you can't make it take a bath.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him think.
You can make it take a bath if you have a high pressure hose.
You just throw them in the river.
That's not a bath. That's a dousing.
Depends on how long you want it down there.
So after sheeting your flower,
Sorry.
set that aside.
Okay.
And then you're gonna take your birch branches and start with those first.
Okay.
I like to start with birch because it makes placing the top heavy flower a little easier. Because you can essentially, I have extra flowers if anybody's flower breaks. Anyways. The branch essentially acts, think like a hairpin in hair. It makes it so that top heavy flower isn't just gonna swing around everywhere.
Oh yeah. Ah, it's like Dolly Parton.
So when you measure your birch branches, you don't have to cut these because these are dried. So if you like the length that they are at, you can just stick them in there how you would like them.
I wonder how much the microphone's getting. All the beats.
So for example, with mine, I don't want my branches to be quite the same height, so I am gonna cut them a little shorter. Stems will fling, I'm sorry ahead of time.
So we shouldn't have filled up the vase all the way to the top.
No, and I should
You
have
left
left
before
that,
she
I
said
apologize. I do have a bucket of
drink.
water, you could dump it out in if you'd like.
Take a sip.
Just
Drink
drink
No,
it.
well, actually, this one's from Apple.
Take a seal.
Yeah, but if you were to put your flour in it.
Floater.
It's okay.
It's okay.
I appreciate you.
If you put your floater in there, then fling it across the room. And Eva.
Yes, I fling it at Aoife. Yeah.
It's an anti-Aoife.
And Aoife. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Really?
These
Really?
chairs, man. Watch out.
Sorry.
I'm gonna kick your ass on the
I almost propelled backwards.
Yeah, well, it's definitely too long.
So we put our branches in, now what?
Sorry,
Everybody ready for
yes.
the next step?
Yes.
Nice. So with the mums, you basically want it to
The
be
what?
right at the lip of the vase.
Right at the lip?
It's called a mum.
Yeah, right at the lip.
It's a mum
Okay.
flower.
This helps create the asymmetry that is very common in Chabana.
So hard to just be chopped up.
Yes, so take off all the leaves.
And don't you cut it
It's in there.
at
I was
a,
saying there was no
The
way
angle
to-
does help it drink more,
well, I
but
know
it's very small.
at a joint, basically.
You can.
Or does that matter?
I,
I
in
think
my
that's for
experience,
propagation.
hasn't really had
About
Yeah.
that tall or shorter?
shorter. So basically you want the petals kissing that vase.
Yeah, that's what she said. Okay.
Oh, I don't have to go even try.
That's what you want to do. And if you are in a situation where you're removing your flower a lot, make sure to give it a fresh cut. Flowers basically grow a skin to keep that water in. That's why they live when you cut them from a plant.
Angle, correct.
You can. In my experience, I haven't found that the angle helps that much,
Okay. My vase is
but
getting
some
pretty
people
like
swear by
my-
it.
A little shorter, she said.
Anyways, fun fact about flowers, as soon as a flower is out of water, it will essentially grow a skin at the end of the stem to keep as much water in as possible. Because it doesn't want to die, but you're killing it.
Killing it slowly.
So if you are taking your flower in and out of your vase a lot, just make sure to give it a fresh trim when you do get it in a position that you like. Ow.
I feel
Like so?
fancy. I feel fancy.
Hi, I just was making sure she was still alive somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't bite that much.
I know you don't, you do good work.
He hasn't seen one in several
You,
hours.
you know how I know? Cause you did our wedding and it was awesome.
Guys, you're so tall.
Oh yeah.
Summer grove.
Is everybody ready for the
Hey.
next step?
Summer showers. Summer showers.
Oh man. What happened to that side
So
of the
many
room?
jokes, so many jokes in my brain.
I leave for 5 minutes.
Don't engage.
You don't know I feel.
I don't know. Wife's here. What do you have to say about it?
Oh god.
We must not digress.
Alright.
Anyway, sorry.
Sorry.
I was just making sure that the growing and showing was done over there.
Are you growing and showing?
That's what they said.
Apparently.
Dang.
Alright, ready for the next
Why
step?
are you so tall?
So I do have enough extra if people do want to put a second one. But remember, a general rule of Chabana is less is more. So it's entirely up to you as your arrangement. But if you do want another piece, feel free to come up here and get one. Because I don't want to walk around right now.
Is it the same that you take off the bottom so it doesn't rot?
Yeah, if it's gonna overlap in water, take the bottom off. This, you kind of want to be a happy medium between the branches and the major flower. But really it's up to you, your personal taste, how you think it would look good. I would just generally recommend to keep the Chabana spirit is not have it above the branches.
Say that again?
I would not put it above the branches,
Okay. So
Okay.
shorter then.
but it's also your arrangement.
Okay, understood.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna do. I'm gonna cut mine a little shorter. But that essentially acts as the filler. So they would have used, I think I went over it a little bit. I did say that.
Did you just for?
Yeah.
That's much more modest with us.
Like so?
I
Yeah.
like it. Oh my God, you are very right.
Oh,
Don't touch the table.
you can use your
Oh, wow,
napkins
that's
to
like-
dab it
Yeah.
out.
Really needs to be empty.
You should have.
You like filled.
Anything else?
I
No,
I was
that's the
told to
final
go
step.
get water and I had a
More is
container in my
less.
hand. That to me says I need to fill the container in my hand.
And some engineers give other engineers bad names.
My mom used to talk about it, and I remember something about sky, the 3 levels, sky, earth, I don't know what the third one would be.
So it is possible to use those rules in Chabana, but Chabana is less formal overall than Ikebana. So
Okay.
Ikebana is a lot more formal.
Yeah, they're definite rules.
So they have a lot more rules with Ikebana versus Chabana. Chabana is like, nice key arrangement. Ikebana is like, this needs to look good.
Right? You're probably wrong, I can't arrange flowers.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can.
Rock's right.
Rock's not here. He can tell you what to do.
So yeah,
You're the boss of
that
me anyway.
is my class.
Don't
If
tell
you
her I said
ever
that.
do see me run the short history of Chabana again, I do plan to show a method using wide bases next time. Basically, I teach you a really fun way to use sticks to make sure that a single flower will stay put in a wide base. Yes. So if you ever see it again, please come back.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.